Yo, it's your boy, I'm Smoke Bath in Madden video. Today's video, we're going to be doing a Davante Adams simulation on the Los Angeles Rams. Davante Adams was one of the best available free agents in this offseason, and he chose to sign with the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams did lose Cooper Kupp, but, they were able to replace him with Davante Adams. I feel like Davante Adams is still a little bit better than Cooper Kupp, but they're both around the same age. So I don't really understand why they didn't just resign Cooper Kupp. But I guess they did come out on top a little bit. But it's kind of disrespectful doing that to a guy who helped bring you a Super Bowl and he was the Super Bowl MVP. I just feel like it's a little disrespectful. But let's go and see how Davante Adams and the Los Angeles Rams do in the simulation. So in the first game, the Rams aren't able to win as they lose to 27-39 against the Detroit Lions. Wasn't quite able to get the dub there, but 27 points, that is a decent amount. So let's go and see if Davante Adams and Matthew Stafford did anything. Jared Goff with a passer rating of 147.2, 335 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and no interceptions. But Matthew Stafford had 268 yards and 3 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. Matthew Stafford with a 56 completion percentage, and Jared Goff with a 68 completion percentage. In the run game, Jahmyr Gibbs had 80 yards off of 15 attempts and a touchdown. Kyren Williams had 57 yards off of 12 attempts. Matthew Stafford even ran the ball a little bit. That's pretty surprising to see. But Matthew Stafford, 20 rushing yards off of 5 attempts. And Jared Goff had 5 rushing attempts for 12 yards. Let's go check the receiving game now. Jahmyr Gibbs with 149 receiving yards off 4 receptions and 2 receiving touchdowns. But Davante Adams, the guy the simulation's about, 8 receptions. He had the most receptions in the game, 75 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. Tutu Atwell with 7 receptions and 70 yards, and Amon-Ra St. Brown with 61 receiving yards. So we are around mid-season point now, and we have a record of 4-2. Just to quite clarify, everything is on auto. The scouting, the free agency, any potential trades, everything's on auto. Because this is a simulation. I don't want to interfere with it. I want to see what Madden says. Matthew Stafford's having a great year so far, though. 1,678 passing yards just midway through the season with 17 passing touchdowns and only 1 interception and a completion percentage of 68. Matthew Stafford's on fire right now. Kyren Williams with 379 yards midway through the season with 3 rushing touchdowns, no fumbles. Matthew Stafford even running the ball a little bit with 120 yards off of 38 attempts. Puka Nacua is the leading receiver, and that's not that surprising, with 506 yards and 10 receiving touchdowns. Davante Adams, 35 receptions for 434 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Tutu Atwell with 396 yards off of 3 receiving touchdowns, all with 35 receptions. Let's go and check the defensive side of the ball. Christian Roseboom is leading the team in tackles. Then you got Witherspoon and Cameron Curl. Brendan Fisk is going to be leading with the tackles for loss with 7. Jared Verse has 3 sacks and interceptions. Only one person has an interception midway through the season. It's a little disappointing, but it's Omar Speights. And the Los Angeles Rams were able to make playoffs with an 11-6 record. And they're going to be facing, in the wild card round, the Atlanta Falcons. I don't really quite know how the Falcons made playoffs, but that's what Madden says, so we're going to roll with it. Before we go ahead and send the playoffs, though, let's go and check out the end of the season stats. So Matthew Stafford continued to have a great year with 4,472 passing yards, 42 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 67 completion percentage. He was sacked 35 times, though, so he got sacked quite a bit. Passer rating of 111.3. Kyren Williams with 962 yards, 11 rushing touchdowns. Kyren Williams is definitely better than that. He's a 1,000-yard rusher. He's definitely capable of that. Matthew Stafford with 297 yards rushing. Blake Corum, 87 yards rushing and a touchdown. Davante Adams even ran the ball a little bit with 4 attempts for 22 yards. Puka Nacua leading in receptions. Actually, no, he's tied with Davante Adams. They both had 99. But Puka had a lot more yards with 1,389 and a lot more receiving touchdowns. Oh my God, Puka had 22 receiving touchdowns. Davante Adams still had a really good year though, 99 receptions, 1,167 yards, 4 receiving touchdowns. Still a pretty impressive year for Davante Adams. Tutu Atwell with 1,053 yards and 9 receiving touchdowns. Leading in tackles is going to be Omar Speights, and then Akeem Witherspoon, then Cameron Curl, Roseboom. Tackles for loss is going to be Brandon Fisk with 14, then Kobe Turner with 10, and Jared Verse with 9. Leading in sacks is going to be Jared Verse with 7, and then Kobe Turner with 6.5. Interceptions, the leader is going to be Cameron Curl with 4, then Omar Spites with 2, and Christian Roseboom, Darius Williams, and Cameron Kitchens all got an interception as well. Let's go and see how the Rams did in playoffs. And as you can see in the bottom right corner of your screen, they were first round exits to the Atlanta Falcons. So that's a little bit rough there, but at least they made a playoff appearance. Because I don't even think Matthew Stafford's going to do that good. I hate to discredit Matthew Stafford because he is good, but he's starting to get up there in age. So this coming season, I don't think he's going to be bad, but I don't think he's going to be putting up crazy numbers like that. They lost 34-27 though. Michael Penix was the starter. So Michael Penix with 297 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 1 interception. He was sacked 5 times, a completion percentage of 67. Matthew Stafford, he had 3 passing touchdowns off of 292 yards and 1 interception as well. He was sacked 7 times. Kyron Williams, he did not get many opportunities. Maybe we should have ran the ball a bit more. Only 8 attempts, but he was able to get 42 yards off of 8 attempts. Puka Nacua, 7 receptions and 94 yards and a receiving touchdown. Tyler Higbee, 4 receptions, 90 yards and a touchdown. Drake London, 7 receptions, 85 yards, a touchdown. Ray McLeod got a touchdown to Darnell Mooney. Davante Adams wasn't quite involved a whole lot with only 4 receptions and 39 yards. Leading in tackles for the game is going to be Jared Verse. Tackles for loss is going to be Poona Ford. Sacks is going to be Leonard Floyd with 3.5 just by himself. That is quite a bit. And then interceptions is going to be Darius Williams and A.J. Terrell with interceptions. Now in the next season, we just go ahead and we sim all the way to the end to try to see how the Rams did. And they got a 4-13 record, and it's not like it was part of my user not drafting a quarterback or anything like that, because remember, everything's on auto, so this is just what the auto-generated GM of the Rams is doing, and they ride another season out with Matthew Stafford. Now, he still didn't do that bad, but he has a lot more interceptions, and definitely not as impressive as he was last year with 3,679 yards, 30 passing touchdowns, and 19 interceptions. That is quite a bit of interceptions. Kyron Williams with 934 yards, averaged 4.4 yards per carry, 7 receiving touchdowns, 2 fumbles. Matthew Stafford, I don't know why they're acting like Matthew Stafford is a runner, but he had 315 yards. Puka Nacua with 1,047 yards, 9 receiving touchdowns. Nick Westbrook Akeem, I believe he just signed with the Dolphins this offseason, was the Titans' number 2 receiver. 65 receptions, 984 yards, 8 receiving touchdowns. Davante Adams not doing bad, but his age is definitely starting to show a little bit. 843 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns. Again, that's not bad. That's not bad at all, but Davante Adams is one of the biggest superstars the league has ever seen, so that's an off year for him for sure. And sacks is going to be Kobe Turner. It looks like they signed Khalil Mack in the offseason. Brandon Fisk with 5.5. Cameron Kitchens with 4 interceptions. Quentin Lake with 3. Same with Kamara Aku. That is around the end of the simulation because Davante Adams retired after 2 years. If you guys are interested in who won the Super Bowl, it was the Green Bay Packers who won the 2025 season against the Baltimore Ravens with a score of 34-28, Super Bowl MVP being Jordan Love. The regular season NFL MVP was Josh Allen, and then Defensive Player of the Year was T.J. Watt. Offensive Rookie of the Year was Isaiah Bond, the receiver out of Texas, I believe, and then Mekhi Williams was the Defensive Rookie of the Year. The 2024 season, it was the Detroit Lions getting a 24-17 victory over the Baltimore Ravens. For the first time in the franchise history, the Detroit Lions are Super Bowl champions, and the Super Bowl MVP went to Aiden Hutchinson. NFL MVP was Josh Allen again. Offensive Player of the Year was Ray McLeod somehow. It's a little bit odd, but all right. Defensive Player of the Year was Aiden Hutchinson. Offensive Rookie of the Year, J.J. McCarthy. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Edgerrin Cooper. That is around that video. Make sure you guys go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. We have more of these simulations down below in the description if you guys are interested, like Justin Fields on the Jets and Sam Darnold on the Seahawks. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe.